Today I'm making mini chicken bao buns, crispy buttermilk fried chicken smothered in a spicy Korean gochujang sauce, stuffed into homemade mini bao buns. Insanely good. I'm going to start by making the bao buns. I've got 450 grams or 3 3/4 cups of plain all-purpose flour in my mixing bowl. To that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of dried instant yeast, and then mix it all together. I've got a jug with 210 ml, which is about 3/4 of a cup with a couple of extra tablespoons of warm water, and to that I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of milk and 3 tablespoons of softened butter, and then I'm going to stir all that together until the butter melts completely. Stir the liquid mixture into the dry mixture and knead together with a dough hook. Place the dough in an oiled bowl and then cover. You can use cling film or a damp tea towel, and then leave to prove until doubled in size, which should take about 90 minutes to 2 hours. Whilst that's proving, I'm going to start on the Korean chicken. So I've got 4 chicken breasts here chopped into bite-sized chunks, and to that I'm going to add 240 ml or a cup of buttermilk. Next in goes half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. Mix it all together, cover and place in the fridge to marinade for about 1 to 2 hours. After the dough is proved, tip it out of the bowl onto a floured surface. We're going to knead the dough for a couple of minutes and then split into 20 equal sized balls. Roll each ball into an oval, about 6 by 9 centimetres. Now we're going to brush each of the ovals with oil just on one side, and then we take a chopstick and we put it in the middle of the oval and then fold it over, and then we pull the chopstick out so we have a little gap here, and then that goes on a piece of baking parchment. Cover each tray with cling film and then leave it to prove for about another hour until they're puffed up. Once the chicken's marinated, you need to heat a large pan filled about 1/3 full of oil, or you can use a deep fat fryer if you have one. In a bowl, mix together 180 grams or a cup and a half of plain all-purpose flour, a teaspoon each of salt and pepper, half a teaspoon each of garlic salt and celery salt, and a teaspoon each of dried thyme, paprika, baking powder and chilli flakes. Remove the chicken from the buttermilk with a slotted spoon and dredge the chicken in the dry mixture. Ensure the chicken is fully coated and place on a tray or a plate ready for frying. Once the oil's hot enough, add the chicken in a few pieces at a time. Just try not to overcrowd the pan, or that'll lower the temperature of the oil and the chicken won't be as crispy. Once all the chicken's been cooked, you can place it on a tray and put it in the oven to keep warm whilst we steam the buns and make the sauce. I've got a large steam pan here with some water that I'm going to bring to the boil so we can steam the bao buns. Now with the bao buns still on the paper, I'm going to put them directly in the steam pan. Should be able to get about 4 or 5 on each level. And we're going to steam the buns for about 10 minutes. Once they're steamed, we're going to place them on a warm tray. Once that second batch is on to steam, we're going to start on the sauce. This is a really simple and spicy Korean gochujang sauce. So we start with 2 tablespoons of gochujang. To that we add in 2 tablespoons of honey, 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, 4 tablespoons of dark soy sauce, 2 cloves of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of minced ginger, and a tablespoon each of vegetable oil and sesame oil. Put it all in the saucepan and stir it together. Bring it to the boil and then simmer for 5 minutes until thickened. Then we pour the sauce over the chicken and toss together to coat. Now it's time to assemble. Carefully open the bao buns and stuff with the Korean chicken. Then top with slices of red onion, fresh coriander, cucumber and sesame seeds before serving. Those are my mini Korean chicken bao buns. They're brilliant for a party or just for a weekend treat. My daughter Gracie is so into K-pop and Korean culture at the moment. I know she's going to love these.